Learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Jiu-Jitsu
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Mount position knee on the stomach.
Vamos mostrar agora uma passagem de
We're
boxe,
now going to show you how to pass the guard
joelho na barriga do adversário,
by putting
mas
my
o
knee
joelho
on my
oposto,
adversary's
tá?
stomach.
E girando,
But it's the other
caindo na
knee that
montada.
I'm going to
Então, dessa
use by
forma,
turning
pressão,
until the mount position.
afasto e passo
So I
adiantando
put
a
pressure,
perna, botando o
I
joelho na
slide
barriga.
my knee,
Ele vai se preocupar
trying
com
to
o meu joelho
push,
empurrando
and
lá,
I turn
e
over
eu vou
him
girar
until
por
I
cima
get in the
dele,
mount
caindo na
position.
montada. Isso aqui.
I grab his head
Abraço a cabeça
and
dele.
stabilize by putting one hand on the
Boto ele no
ground.
chão.
Passing the guard by running over my adversary.
Vou mostrar uma
I'm
passagem
now going to show you how to pass the guard, but this time I'm going to slide inside my adversary's legs by running over
É
him.
uma passagem muito boa.
It's a very good
quando o
way
adversário também
when the
tem uma
adversary
guarda
has an
muito-
efficient guard.
muito eficiente. Então eu faço dessa forma.
So I
Pressão,
put pressure,
afasto
I
e
step
jogo
back,
os pés dele no chão.
I put my feet on the
tá?
ground,
Pressão nos pés dele no chão.
I put pressure on
Em
his feet.
seguida, eu vou rolar para frente, apoiando a minha
I'm
cabeça
going to
no
roll
abdômen
forward
dele.
by putting my head on his stomach.
Notem.
I keep
que a
my
minha
head on
cabeça
his
fica no
belly,
abdômen dele.
I release one
Depois eu
hand
vou
and I
soltar
turn
uma das
on that
mãos
same
e
side.
girar pro lado dessa mão que eu soltei,
I immediately get the 100 kilos position.
caindo no
The
sentido.
hand holding the
E
pants
a mão da
keeps on
calça
holding them
continua
until the
presa
end.
lá até o fim do movimento.
Kimura strike from the 100 kilo position.
Vamos fazer ataque na kimura quando o adversário
We're going to attack the
põe o braço
kimura
erradamente
when the
sobre as minhas
adversary
costas.
puts his arm in a
Eu
wrong
estou
way in
na
my back,
posição de 100 quilos. Então,
and I'm in
o
the
que eu vou
100
fazer
kilo
aqui?
position.
Eu
So here's what
domino
I'm
ele
gonna
com a minha
do.
mão direita e a mão esquerda.
I control
Eu
his
livro a
shoulder
cabeça dele
with my
e
right
enrolo o
hand.
braço dele o mais baixo possível. Prendendo
With
com a
my
minha
left
outra
hand,
mão.
I catch his
A
arm
outra
as
mão,
low as I
eu
can,
vou buscar a
controlling
minha
with the
própria
head.
gola para ajustar mais a pressão.
I grab my own collar, holding really tight.
Que ele me acompanha.
With the other hand, I get the hip.
Viro o meu quadril
I
em
turn
direção
to
à
his
cabeça
head.
dele e avanço bem a minha
I move
perna
my
do
leg
mesmo lado do
forward
braço
on the
direito,
side of the controlled
botando
arm.
o pé bem na frente. Atenção, esse pé aqui eu não posso
Be careful
deixar
not to let the
escorregar.
foot slide.
Esse pé,
It has to
ele é
stand
a base
straight.
da
It's the
pressão que eu
base.
vou dar nele.
That
Então,
foot
o
is
pé
going to put
continua
pressure
aqui.
until submission.
O outro joelho eu vou colocar
I put my
sobre o
other knee on
braço
his
dele
arm. I move the head forward,
e
still
vou
holding the
avançar
pressure on
minha
the arm.
cabeça para frente, dando pressão no braço dele.
I grab his
Em
wrist
seguida,
by sliding
eu vou
behind the
buscar
back
o
of the
punho dele
neck.
atrás da minha nuca,
I move the head and I grab my
tiro
own
a minha
wrist.
cabeça e vou buscar o meu punho.
I lift his arm up.
Levanto o braço com
Notice
tudo.
that the adversary has to be on the
Nota
side.
que ele tem que estar de lado.
I keep
A
putting
posição
pressure
dele
with
tem que
both
ficar de
knees
lado.
to prevent him
Pressão
from
nos
getting
meus
away.
dois joelhos, o pé vivo no chão.
I end with a kimura.
Puxei e finalizei na kimura.
Choke hold from the kimura.
Mais ataque na kimura.
Another strike from the kimura, but this time the adversary defends himself by getting the belt because he realizes I want to use the kimura, so he's going to defend himself by grabbing his belt. It's a very efficient way to defending, as it's very difficult to make him release it. So I'm going to change the kimura for a choke hold.
Tentei aqui, ele travou bem.
I try it, the adversary is blocking. I put pressure with my chest. I slide my hand and I grab the kimono. I slightly open my leg and I slide my hand in the opposite collar, thumb inside. I turn like this. The back leg is like the base. The other knee is stuck to the adversary's hip. Using my right elbow, I put pressure on the adversary's neck until submission.
E finalizando.
chokehold using the legs from the north-south immobilization. I'm going to try a Kimura attack from the north-south position, but in fact, that Kimura attack is just a way to distract my adversary, to strangle him with my legs. It's a very good technique. I slide my hand under the armpit and I turn by moving away my knee and still putting pressure. I try the Kimura by grabbing my own wrist. I slide my leg over his head and the other under. I close my legs by falling on my side and I strangle with my legs. Turn over closed guard by controlling the adversary's elbow. Let's show you a turnover when the adversary is not controlling my chest. I'm going to show you and try with my opposite arm to grab my adversary's elbow. When I go up, I need to open the guard to make it easier, like this. My arm needs to be stretched. I can't put my elbow on the ground. I try to put his shoulder under my armpit by controlling the elbow. I lift up the hips and I turn, stretching my body. Get in the back by sliding under the adversary, standing in the guard. We're now going to show you a back hold when the adversary stands up with the legs open. I catch his leg, move my head closer. With my other hand, I go like this. I open my guard and put my head between his legs. I get his feet, with my knees really opened. I release one hand and I grab the belt. I push forward with my legs and pull his belt with my hand. I still hold him to the end. When he falls down, I put immediately my hand on his neck for a mate-leon strangulation. getting aback when attempting a helicopter turnover. We're now going to show you how to go in the back from a helicopter turnover attempt. So I control my adversary's arm, I go under. He's going to defend himself by putting all his weight forward. I release the hold, and I get his pants like this. My other leg hooks behind his leg. When he tries to stand up, I grab his belt, going under him, in the same way, and I get the back, Battalion style again. Turn over when the adversary is down on his knees, controlling his leg from underneath. We're now going to show you a turnover when the adversary tries to control my two legs by sliding his arm between my legs.
Lá embaixo, tá? Aqui. Então, o que eu vou fazer? A minha mão
My hands gets his wrist.
O meu gancho esquerdo
My left
vai
hook
passar pro
goes on the
outro
other side of
lado
his
dele.
leg.
E eu
I get
vou
his
botar o
elbow
cotovelo
here
dele aqui,
and I
puxando
pull
o
it to
cotovelo
me.
dele pra cima de mim, botando as minhas costas no chão, e com o auxílio do gancho,
I'm going to lay down on the back and turn him over on the other side with my hook helping here.
e vou pra
I
cima.
end up in the 100 kilo position. Half guard turnover, controlling the arm behind the head and using a hook.
Vamos mostrar agora uma raspagem da minha
I'm now going to show you a half guard turnover. I get the adversary's arm,
embaixo da minha cabeça,
I move the arm
mão
away,
no cotovelo,
the other hand gets his pants.
tiro o braço e prendo o braço dele aqui. A outra mão eu vou buscar a calça. Segurei lá na calça dele. É pouco parecida com uma outra raspagem que eu passei no
It looks like another turnover I showed you before.
Boto meu pé no chão,
I put my foot on the
saio
ground,
no quadril
I move
e
my
entro
hips
no
forward
gancho.
and I hook.
A partir do momento que eu
Once
entrei
it's
no
done,
gancho,
I pull
puxo
to
ele pra
me
cima de
and I
mim
roll
e
back.
rolo pra trás, usando a força
The hooks
dos
are
dois
helping.
braços e do gancho.
Half guard turnover, with the arm under the adversary's armpit.
Mais uma
Another half guard turnover.
Então aqui, o adversário está me dominando.
This time,
Eu, com
I
meu
put pressure
antebraço,
with
eu
my
faço
forearm
uma
on
ligeira
his neck
pressão contra o pescoço dele
to create
para
space
criar
and put my arm
pequeno
under his
espaço
armpit
para eu
and get
girar
his
o meu
back
braço
as high as I can,
e esgremar
holding
lá
my
e nas
elbow
costas
really
dele,
high.
segurando bem alto no kimono dele com o meu cotovelo bem alto. A minha outra
My
mão,
other
eu
hand
vou
gets his
buscar
kimono.
a lapela do kimono dele aqui.
I give it to
Passo
the
pra
other
outra mão,
hand,
bem
holding it
justo, o mais
tight.
justo possível. Essa mão que ficou livre, eu vou
With my free hand, I roll up my
laçar a
adversary's
perna
leg.
dele, boto meu pé no chão, travando a perna
I
dele
put
aqui
my
com a
foot on the
perna de
ground
dentro,
by controlling his
saio
leg
quadril
with my other leg.
e coloco o
I put my
gancho.
hip forward and I
Agora eu
hook.
puxo ele com tudo para minha cabeça lá. Tá?
I pull
Se
it
não
with
botar
all
as
my
duas mãos no
strength
chão,
to
ele
my
vai pra
head.
baixo.
He
Botou
needs
as
to
duas
lean
mãos
on
no
his
chão,
hands
trava
in
a
order
perna
not to
dele,
fall.
solto a mão das costas e boto o cotovelo no chão.
I put my elbow on the
Dessa
ground
forma.
and I stand up.
Depois, eu vou ficar em
I
pé,
really dominate his leg.
dominando a perna dele completamente.
My other
E
arm
a mão
controls
vai
his
lá na
other
outra
leg
perna,
to the
domina na
knee
altura do
and I
joelho
pull
e
to
puxo
unbalance him.
ele para trás, botando ele para baixo.
Closed guard turnover, when the adversary is standing up, rolling up his leg and finishing on his arm.
mostrar agora uma raspagem.
I'm now going to show you a turnover followed by an arm lock.
Eu vou induzir o meu adversário ao erro. Já que ele está com esse braço na frente,
I'm going to force my adversary to do a mistake.
a outra perna e
I'm going to grab his other leg
para ele me
and unbalance him for him to push me.
aplicar uma chave de braço com esse braço aqui. Vamos lá.
With his arm pushing me, I'm going to do
Colo a
an
minha
arm
cabeça
lock.
perto do pé dele. A
I put
outra
my
mão
head
no
next to his
chão,
foot. I lean on my
faço
other
apoio
hand.
pra jogar ele pro lado,
I
não
push
é
my
pra
adversary
trás, é pro lado.
aside. When he
Quando ele
falls,
cai,
he prevents me from
eu vou
mounting
tentar ir pra
by stretching
cima,
his
ele
arm.
bloqueia o meu peito.
I grab his
Eu
wrist, I stick
domino
my head to
o
the
punho
ground,
dele, boto a minha
I lift my
cabeça no
hips
chão,
and I slide my leg without putting my knee on the
levanto o meu
ground.
quadril e passo só o joelho. Notem que eu
I
não
put it
encosto o
inside
joelho no chão,
with
o
my
joelho
feet
passa
on the
pra
back
dentro,
of his head
com o meu pé
without releasing the
na
leg.
nuca dele,
I do an arm
finalizando
lock to
no
finish
braço,
with.
sem soltar a perna dele.
Passing the guard by rolling up, both laying your own leg over and ending up one knee on his stomach.
Vou mostrar agora uma passagem de guarda.
Let's show you how to pass the guard if I catch both feet with one hand.
Uma mão enrola a
I slide
perna e a
under
outra mão eu
and I
domino
grab
a
his
calça
pants
dele lá
all
embaixo.
down,
Então, as
controlling
pernas
his two
dominadas,
legs.
tá? A mão que está aqui no joelho dele, eu vou passar lá pro braço
My
dele.
hand at knee level controls his arm.
Levanto um pouco o meu
I lift up my
quadril
hips.
e passo a minha
I
perna
slide my
sobre
leg
ele
over
aqui,
my
botando a mão
adversary.
no chão, e ao mesmo momento eu livro
I put
a minha mão,
all my weight
boto todo o meu
and I
apoio
pass
no
his
pé,
guard and end up with
passando a
one knee on
guarda
his stomach.
e botando o joelho na barriga.
Chokehold from the 100 kilos with your own kimono collar running forward.
Agora, um estrangulamento.
I'm now going to show you a chokehold from the 100 kilos in which I use my own collar.
Eu abro aqui a mão,
I open the hand, I lower the head, and I get my kimono.
tá? Atenção que é a mesma lapela do lado que eu tô dele, não é a lapela oposta, tá?
I get the kimono on the same side I'm standing,
Entro por
not the
baixo do
opposite
braço
side.
dele e passo pra outra mão,
I give it
o
to
mais
the other
junto
hand,
possível.
which is under the head, really tight.
Eu boto
My
a
other
mão no
hand
chão,
goes on the
tá?
hip,
Tá?
I turn.
Giro
At that moment, I roll
e dou uma
forward
cambalhota pra
and submit
frente.
my adversary. Chokehold from the 100 kilos by controlling the adversary's collar under the armpit, going in north-south immobilization.
Vou mostrar agora.
I'm now going to show you another chokehold from the 100 kilos using the collar. This time, I use the adversary's collar.
Dominei o kimono no ombro.
I lower the head, I dominate the shoulder, I grab his collar, I slide under his armpit, I give it to the other hand. My free hand gets the elbow on the other side, and I try to hold his arm on the ground.
Bloqueando o braço dele no chão. E agora, avanço a minha cabeça em direção ao quadril dele,
My head goes to the hips,
girando para o 69.
I put both knees forward on the ground,
Travando bem o cotovelo dele, até que meu
my
braço
arms
que tá
needs to be
dominando
stretched
aquela posição
on the
lá,
side of the head,
esticado.
I slide my head on the other side, and I slide my two legs on the other side of his head.
Pro outro lado.
My knee puts pressure on his head to strangle
Na
him.
cabeça dele.
Chokehold from the north-south position, inverted guillotine.
Vou mostrar agora.
I'm now going to show you the inverted guillotine from the north-south position.
Posição do 69. Tá?
When the adversary does a mistake and puts his arm in my back sliding under my
Bate a minha
armpit,
axila nas minhas costas erradamente. Bom, ele botou o braço embaixo das minhas costas.
I roll up his
Eu vou
arm
girar
with one
a
hand
minha mão.
and the other hand
Baixo
grabs
lá,
his head.
E essa mão eu laço a cabeça dele. Vou segurar lá. Olha a pegada. Pegada desse jeito. Pegando no
And
meu
I
punho com
clutch,
pegada de macaco.
monkey head style, sliding back by putting pressure on his neck.
Escorrego para trás, dando pressão no pescoço dele.
Espelilla frango with matalio.
Bom,
I managed to get my adversaries back. Now I'm going to use the espelilla frango.
Que é imobilizar o adversário no chão completamente.
It means you're going to put your adversary flat on the ground, sitting on his back. It's very important for my heels to be
São os meus
stuck.
calcanhares ficarem juntos. E eu jogo toda a pressão no meu
By using my
quadril pra
hips,
baixo,
I
aqui.
put all the pressure I
A
can on
partir
the
do
ground.
momento que eu imobilizo o adversário,
When my adversary can't move anymore,
fechado, eu venho,
I lift his head,
levanto a
and with the
cabeça
other
dele na
arm,
testa
I do the
e entro com a
matalio.
outra mão por baixo,
I get my own
buscando
biceps.
meu bíceps.
If I
Essa mão
can't put my
não
hand
consegue
behind the
entrar
head,
atrás da
I
nuca,
can put
eu
it
seguro
above
em
to
cima da
strangle the
cabeça
same
dele
way.
e finalizo no matalhão.
Chokehold foot on the throat.
Vou fazer agora um estrangulamento. Quando
I'm
o
now going to
adversário
show you a
estiver no chão,
chokehold when my adversary has his knee lifted. I grab his collar and I push with my foot. He tries to go out, but it's too late.
Puxo dando pressão com o pé. Ele vai tentar sair, mas o estrangulamento já está muito bem encaixado.
Grappling. Standing posture, falling by controlling the adversary's head and leg.
Grappling, como o Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
In grappling, like in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you start in a standing position. So it's very important for the fighter to be able to stand straight and to know how to grab. We're going to hold behind the head and the other hand behind the elbow joint. Here's what I'm going to do to throw my adversary. I open his arm, I slide my head underneath, and I move my other leg forward. I put my knee on the ground, and my hand immediately grabs his leg. I don't release the neck. I stand up and I turn, throwing my adversary that way. Scissors.
Vamos mostrar agora a tesoura.
I'm now going to show you the scissors.
Ela antigamente era muito usada dentro do
It was often used in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu before,
mas
but
dentro do
now
grappling,
it's
ela
forbidden.
é permitida.
But you can still use it in grappling.
Preste atenção nos detalhes.
Watch the details. I grab the adversary's head,
Em seguida,
I release the
eu
head
solto a
and I
cabeça
throw
dele
my leg
e
forward.
jogo, projeto a minha perna na frente. A minha mão
My
vai
hand
servir
is
de
leaning on the
apoio no
ground,
chão, e a
and my
outra
other
perna,
leg tries to
eu vou
cut
dar
like
uma
scissors,
tesoura
his leg from
de
behind.
trás. Notem que a minha mão de apoio, eu não posso encostar o cotovelo no chão.
Notice that my arm is
Meu braço é
stretched.
esticado.
I don't put my elbow on the ground.
E no momento
Once
que
he
ele
is
cai,
down,
essa mão vai
I
empurrar
push
os
on
dois
his
joelhos
knee
dele
and I
pra
mount
lá,
sliding over until I have my knee on his chest.
girando, caindo com o joelho na barriga.
Defense against the Baiana by twisting the adversary's neck.
Vou mostrar agora.
I'm now going to show you a possibility of defense against the Baiana when the adversary attacks my
Eu
legs.
tenho que procurar jogar minhas pernas para trás e
I
o
need
meu
to
quadril
step
pra
back
baixo.
and put my hips forward, trying to put them down.
Eu vou
I
procurar
get the
o
adversary's
queixo
chin
dele
in order
pra
to make him
poder
turn
girar e
to
botar
the
ele pra
ground.
baixo. Vamos ver lá.
I move my hips back,
Quadril para trás.
I turn, my hand
girei
gets his
entre a mão,
chin and I
procurando
turn.
o queixo dele, mão com mão e giro.
Posture and opening the guard by controlling the biceps.
One
of the posture and opening of the guard is grappling by controlling the biceps. I slide my arms trying to go away when controlling the biceps as far as I can. I stand up. I put one knee behind the coccyx and the other foot as a base. I open the guard by pushing on his hips until my knee goes between my adversary's legs. Ankle Americana from opening the guard. I'm now going to show you an ankle lock, the Americana, when I'm in my adversary's guard. I control his leg with one knee up and the other on the ground. It's very important to hold his leg under my armpit by controlling the knee. I shouldn't let him control my hands. I have to move them away. If he tries to control me, I immediately get his foot. With my other hand, rapidly, I slide under until I get my own wrist, and at the same time, I put my knee and I turn. Mount position from the 100 kilos, controlling both armpits. I'm now going to show you a mount position from the 100 kilos. I open my hands, I control his shoulder, I move my hips, my other hand slides under the armpit. I control the shoulder, I get back to the same position and I put my head under his chin, putting pressure. At the same moment I put my knee on his stomach until I get to the mount position by forcing. How to end the fight from the mount position. Lateral choke hold with the adversary's arm. Kata gatame.
Vamos fazer agora ataque, estrangulamento, partindo da montada.
I'm now trying to show you a chokehold attack from the mount position. A chokehold using the adversary's arm called kata gatame. First, I put slight pressure on the adversary's throat to keep him on the ground. I slide my other hand under the armpit and I open his arm until his elbow is next to his head. I hold his head and slide my hand underneath. I hold it with my other hand. I lower the head and completely block this arm. I grab my own biceps. My other hand goes behind my head. I move my knees from the ground. I slide one knee. The other leg is used as a basis and I put pressure until submission. Getting out of the mount position with an ankle lock. I'm now going to show you how to get out of the mount position when the adversary has both hands on the ground. I put and push both hands on his armpits, do a bridge. I throw forward. Immediately, I try to put my feet on his armpits. Then my two hands slide on his stomach. I push him forward and roll back. When he falls, I immediately grab his foot. On the same side, I put my leg up. My other hand grabs my own tibia, monkey hand style, and end it with an ankle lock.
Finalizando com a chave de pé.
Calf lock from the open guard.
Bom, nós vamos dar agora a chave de panturrilha.
I'm now going to do a calf lock from the open guard. My adversary has one leg ready inside. I catch his leg to the knee. My other leg on the hip crosses over his leg and close the triangle over his leg. I force back and do calf lock.
Puxando o braço para frente.
Calf lock when the adversary is on all fours.
Vamos mostrar agora uma outra.
I'm now going to do another calf lock when I have already a hook inside the adversary's position.
Então eu jogo ele pouco para frente para entrar o gancho.
I put all the weight forward to really place my hook.
Em seguida, eu vou girar.
I turn and I grab his foot with both hands. I fall back. Here I can close the
Aqui eu
triangle
posso
and
fechar o
put his foot
triângulo e
until
puxar o
submission.
pé dele para mim.
Back choke hold.
A pegada pelas
The back
costas
hold
do
is always
adversário,
to be done
tá?
with hooks.
Sempre com os ganchos.
Never cross your
Nada
feet
de
in order
cruzar
to
os
avoid an
pés,
ankle
porque senão ele
lock.
pode me dar uma chave de pé, os ganchos.
I close
E
the
a mão
hand
que
which
está
is
por cima
over the
do ombro,
shoulder.
eu fecho
The
a
other
minha
hand
mão
which
e a
is
outra
under
mão
the
que tá por
armpit
baixo da
catches the
axila,
wrist.
que eu vou dominar o meu punho
Monkey
com pegada de
hand.
macaco. Ele
He
vai
defends
defender
himself
ali
against the
o
neck
ataque do
attack,
pescoço,
so I grab his
eu
hand,
solto uma
I
mão,
throw
domino
his
esse punho dele e
arm
jogo o
back,
punho para baixo.
I open and I
Segurando,
try
eu
to
abro
control
e
his
abro a
arm
minha
with my
perna
leg.
e vou buscar o braço
I
dele,
immediately
cravo o
attack the
braço
neck,
dele, a mão já entra direto
I
no
slide my
pescoço.
other hand, and I
Solto essa mão
submit him
rápido
with a
e venho pro
mata-leão.
mata-leão.
Leg lock from the half guard.
Vou mostrar o leg lock.
I'm now going to show you a leg lock from the half guard.
É necessário que eu recue.
It's very important to step back in order to do a leg lock.
Abraço
So
a
I
perna
step
dele por
back,
baixo e venho
I
com a
grab
outra
his
mão,
legs from under,
ajusto a
and I
posição
stabilize the
e jogo
position.
meu quadril para a altura do joelho dele. E com o auxílio da minha perna
With my
e
leg
do meu
pushing,
quadril,
I throw my
eu dou
hips
o
forward,
leg lock. Eu
and I
jogo
do
meu
the knee
quadril pra
lock.
frente.